Hello creatives, welcome to Artist Star. My name is Beth and I am here at the gallery to do a tarot reading for Taurus season and the 3 Decans. I'll also offer a bit of astrology guidance as to how we might all navigate what we receive from Source and how to use any messages for your birth card or your card placement. Okay, let's start with a reminder about the sign of Taurus. It is the second sign in the zodiac and rules the second house of resources and worth, family and friends, and your core environment and how comfortable you keep it. It also rules your core talents. So Venus is the Taurus's ruling planet, and this adds an element of passion and pleasure seeking to how you'd ensconce yourself into what you are attracted to. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder here, and for a Taurus, it'll have a certain amount of refined and relaxed leisure about it. The element for Taurus is earth, and I can attest that there is a solid grounding energy about every Taurus I know. I have a nephew and a godson and my husband that are both 10 of clubs first decan. They have the same birthday. My son is a king of clubs in the 3rd decan, and I have a goddaughter niece in the 2nd decan. All of them have a warmth and gravity to them that just pulls you in. Now, let's talk about the bull that represents Taurus's zodiac sign. Yes, stubborn and determined and patient. That is at their core when it comes to getting what they want or need. There's fixed sign Tauruses. That is that they are comfortable and steadfast in their decisions as they take their time to gather information and love an open, honest discussion as part of that research. They detest lies like the most of us, but they will file that away forever. Taurus, as far as I've experienced, has a long, slow burning fuse before hitting the power keg. So then you just want to look out. The major arcana card is the Hierophant, which rules the black suited fours, the clubs and the spades, and therefore it's Mercury and Wednesday. It's all about communication and stability with the Hierophant, relying on your connection to your higher self and being guided by Source through the Hierophant. This is the key to unlock your depth of self-knowledge. The shadow side of the Hierophant would be a disconnect to Source, causing a loss of faith due to most likely self-indulgences and addictions taking precedence. So as for the shadow side of a Taurus, you'd be likely to experience resistance to change, overly materialistic and indulgent, and a possessive, addictive nature that keeps you from connecting with your higher spiritual self. Okay, so before we begin, I'm going to encourage you all to check your astrology chart for what house you have Taurus in and any planets there. If you have your cards of truth chart, check to see what card your Venus symbol is with and consider any messages from this reading starting there. For instance, to try to keep this simple, my Venus symbol is with the 9 of diamonds in the Mercury position. So I'm inclined and feel beauty and comfort, that's Venus, with those communications, which is Mercury, at an innate, deep, divine level of brought from a past life K2 South Node led intuition with the 9 of diamonds. And there you have me. All right. So if you don't have your Vedic Cards of Truth chart yet, I've linked where you can find your own personal Cards of Truth chart in the description box below. So go find that, pause the video, and then come back and we'll get started. So let's start with the reading with asking what would be beneficial for Taurus and or any planet and house positions you have in Taurus to know how to deepen your creative experience. I'm going to use the archetype cards here for the overview from where you're going to be invited to take an inner look, followed by my Cards of Truth Spirit and Nature deck to fine-tune where to begin to go a little deeper. We're going to pull that thread, and then we're going to follow up with the helpful clarification with the Lenormand cards and pinpoint that just a little bit more. And lastly, we'll finish up with the encouragement of a wishcraft card message meant for you. All right, let's get started with the first Decan, Taurus. So the first Decan, Taurus, is born between April 20th and 29th. This Decan is ruled by Venus as well. So basically, it's a doubling down on the Venus energy of seeking out what brings a joy to your more shy and sensual and passionate nature. There is a lot of quiet and direct willpower with this Decan as you seek a sensible and more direct path in pursuing what prospects you have and opportunities that are available. So this determination can be to a fault, as you could easily miss what is right in front of you, especially when it comes to artistic exploration. So let's see, what do you got where you are being invited to take a closer look? So this is the Martyr card. Very interesting. So the light attributes are learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. All right. And the shadow attributes, addiction to self-pity. So let's explore that just a little bit, because I mean, it makes me think of political or religious figures as being martyrs and just diving in like Gandhi, say, that just gives themselves fully to something, some cause that they don't really seek any reward from. So, but it isn't a reward within itself, is what I probably should say about that. It's a opportunity really to be highly respected, right, for having that kind of courage and that kind of conviction to get in there and do something for the sake of others. There's oftentimes there's a deep suffering, if you will, that you'd have to go through in order to stick to your guns like that. It just seems like there's a measure of spiritual redemption. You know what I mean? It's like being one of the most devout and sacred of people to really want to dive in and give yourself away like that, right? It is giving yourself to that transcendent service, and it serves you as well as serving a greater good. I guess that would be the light attribute as far as how you would take that and channel it into your creativity. I can just see it being, you know, super spiritual, super inviting. It would have that warm Taurus nature that would ask you to just sit with it for a while and be comforted by it, to maybe be on someone's altar, or that would remind them, like a prayer wheel, where you just, every morning as part of your ritual, you would give it a spin, and that prayer wheel would be created by someone who has that ability in the art field to really put something of good use like that into a spiritual connotation, bringing that all together. So if it were for the shadow attribute, that addiction to self-pity brings a whole different shadow connotation to this. We're looking at that possibility of being in that field for gain, right? Ulterior motives, and being below board rather than above board, being manipulative and looking to see where you could take advantage, maybe through money or otherwise, through the services of suffering, right, of others, and pretending that you are as well, but all in the end, it's controlling and manipulating the environment so that you can feel in control and giving into your addictions, and therefore keeping you in that self-pity. Now, as far as that would be related to art, it would probably have something to do with a fear of success in the field, so that you would be the try, but never succeed at someone else's expense, making you that way, right? Your expense that someone else is the cause for, or for, throwing that in your path. Always an excuse, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So what you're going to want to do is just really think about where that might be for you. Do you have something holding you back from taking full charge of yourself? Is there something that you want to create spiritually and have that be of service to a greater good, to a greater audience? We have a artist here who does pastels, and I'm not sure if he's a Taurus or not. I'm going to have to go and have a look, but his work is so beautifully spiritually led, and it's soft with that soft pastel action, and it's beach scenes and night scenes and birds and messages of just softening and quieting. And there isn't a single person that can walk past his work without stopping to take a look and just have to contemplate that invitation to quiet and move on, right? Or purchase, often happens. And I wouldn't say that that was a shadow attribute, because it is coming from a very real and precious and spiritual place where he has found a way to share that and bring that forth. So let's keep looking and see what the Spirit and Nature Cards of Truth deck has to add to this. Oh, I love it. This is the Four of Diamonds. And so this is having enough. This is having exactly what you need to make it through the stability of a situation. Diamond suit. So we're talking grounded earthiness at its best. And the first really grounding card in the diamond suit. The twos, yes, but it's making a connection for an opportunity. The fours is where you really get the chance to take that opportunity to the bank. This is you making good on whatever has come your way. So, like I was just saying about this artist that we represent, his name is David Costello, and you'll be able to find them from the website and go and have a look from the gallery here and see what I'm talking about. His devotion to the spiritual realm is really quite deep. So yeah, and he has found that way to take it to the bank and to make a living from it, as well as help other people and just bring that to everyone, including himself. Definitely the light attributes. I don't see any self-pity in what he does. So, and this doesn't really represent that, but if you were to look at the darker attributes, if there is some reason that you are in your own way through addictions or a fear or a desire for anything different in that contributing to the greater good, if there's something that stands in your way, that's where you want to look at the Four of Diamonds. If that were in reverse, what would we say? We would say that there is an ungroundedness, there is a disconnect, there is a feeling that you don't have enough, that you're lacking resources, and that is pretty much blaming the outside world, right, for something that's not going right, or not being able to take advantage of an offer or a situation that brings that stability because of this fear of success is the one that keeps coming to mind, which would keep you from moving down that path of opening up to something. So where you would move out of that shadowed attribute into something more open and more receptive to looking through. You know, we were looking at that first decan, right? And what would that really mean for you? You have this determination, and you've got this one possibility that it is led, this feeling is led by a need to have things go in a certain way. So, and as I said in the description, it can be to a fault. It's you missing what's right in front of you. So you're to open. It's always that catch-22 with the cards, right? So to get beyond your fixed earthy self and say, wait a minute, have I had enough conversations with people, with places, with things, with myself did I get enough of that information? Because the Four of Diamonds is all about feeling that you have what you need in order to take advantage of it. It is like golden. So, and it's enough. So where are you missing those tidbits, and how do you get there? Well, if you're going to be a Taurus and grounded in all of that, go to your chart and see where your Mars is at. See what action you take and how you take it. And look to see whether what is your greatest element. It might not be earth, right? It could be water. So perhaps you'd want to maybe feel through some emotions and tap that feeling of fear or whatever it is that's standing in your way a little deeper with that, feeling it through. Are you sad, right? Are you Are you feeling hurt, or are you any kind of emotional something that would keep you from wanting to look deeper? And so you would most likely want to shift that energy, in how you would do that might be through music or through meditation, or just giving yourself the time to sort that through. Really take a deep dive into it and have a good talk with yourself, because as a Taurus, when you see it, you're open to change. It's not that. You definitely are. You can change your opinion with the drop of a hat. It's just that you've decided on something. Being that fixed sign, like they all do, they have that element of just having it be a done deal. So your mission here is to go back and have another look, see what you missed, explore, and understand that, that Four of Diamonds is right there with the Mercury card, right? This is the red suit of the fours, and that is the High Priestess. So, I mean, you're channeling with the best, right? So you just got to sit with it for a few minutes, and you'll see, because you are so grounded and so able to sit in that moment long enough for something to pop through for you. All right, let's see what you got for the Lenormand cards. Yeah, see, it's the scythe. You just gotta, whatever it is, you've got to take care of it. You've got to get rid of it. It's got to be done, right? You need to sort it through, get down to whatever is holding you back, and cut it out. Because the second that you do, that whole world of the Four of Diamonds having enough, having that opportunity, being able to have that concrete ability of the diamond suit, that groundedness to just channel that confidence that you already possess into something that's going to pay off, and it will benefit others and it will benefit you. The thing about the diamonds is knowing your own worth and the worth of what is in front of you. The diamond suit have this ability to see that diamond in that lump of coal. So you'll know how to take it forward. You'll know how to take that to the benefit of the greater good. It's that, as it says here in the light attribute, learning the transcendent of service to oneself or a cause, right? So it is being open to hearing the High Priestess. Okay, so let's see what you got for a wish card. It's really pretty cool, isn't it? Build a fairy house. There is magic everywhere. I love it. Yeah, that walk in nature, just to get your hands in, build something of natural materials out there, and in that magic forest or park or riverside, wherever, and just create something that can be yours and represent you wanting to take it all to that next level. It's certainly there for you. It looks like you are going to have that opportunity to really make diamonds out of coal. And whatever it is that's standing in your way, or whatever it is that can take you that little bit step further, or a big step further, and get it all done, it is definitely there for you. And I can see where this could seriously deepen that creative experience for you, because you're going to learn this about yourself and you're going to be able to take it and channel that energy into whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, so let's move on to the second decan. Here, this runs through April 30th to May 10th. So this second decan is ruled by Mercury. So you've already, got that. And this adds an ambitious and determination to how you pursue any successes. You have every opportunity to be successful in every field. That's a second decan thing. That Mercury in communication adds to where you'll find a creative and very varied way to become unique in whatever you do. It's just there for you at your fingertips. So, however, the shadow side of that mutable Mercury, right? You may be off to too many uninhibited directions and losing yourself in the details. So be sure to create a paper trail like breadcrumbs for your creative vision. You may need it. All right, let's look at the archetype cards. You got Slave. Surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. Wow, surrendering with complete trust to the divine. The shadow, giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. Yeah, I think we can all relate to having done that at one point or another. This is letting me know for this second decan in order to really make the most of your creative experience here, how to really deepen all of that, because you've got that creativity, right? And you oftentimes may find yourself with diversions, wanting your attention, hence the breadcrumbs, finding that trail. So keeping a diary, keeping notes, and filing those, however you do, haphazardly or incredibly very neatly, because we know Virgo is also ruled by Mercury, and you have that tendency with the second decan to want your ducks in a row, even though that Mercury and Gemini side of things can send you off into many different directions. It's kind of like a ball of energy that you're all wrapped up in this Taurus energy of being super grounded. So you can come across as having that very grounded warmth that I was talking about earlier, and then be a surprise when you are off on 10 different tangents and can't settle on something, which you eventually do being a Taurus and all. So surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust, that's an interesting light attribute. As if you think about it, it is asking you for that meditation and that handing over, knowing, like with the Hierophant, to be in contact with that higher self, channeling those messages that are so there for you and so ready in such a knowing and grounded way. If you can do that, you can trust which comes through and prioritize the list of things that interest you. And maybe you'll see where starting with the third actually ends up benefiting the 10th. And if you can do that, then you can go back to the third and make that better, which then you can see where it brings a new vision for the second or the fifth, you know. So prioritizing lists and really feeling that power of source coming through for you when you do that. So the shadow attributes here, giving your willpower to an external authority. So out of fear of making your own choices. So much we don't do for ourselves is out of fear of something. So the fear of making your own choices leads me in so many different directions as to why. It could be that you are new at something that you're doing and you lack the confidence to really explore it and present it on a level that you're feeling pretty confident that it came from the divine, that it's a direct message from source for you, but you don't know where to begin. So in that, there is fear of making any choice as to how to bring it to your creative energies. And I would suggest, exactly as the first, go and look at your chart, see where to begin, and start there. Look at the card. If you have your Cards of Truth chart, you'll be able to see where your Venus symbol is, like mine is with the Nine of Diamonds. So I am drawn to that communication with the divine and being able to do my creative thing through the messages here. Where is yours? You know, it could be in Saturn, or it could be in your sun. That is going to give you a whole different connotation. So look up the sun, look up Saturn, understand what those planets mean, and go to my cards. I've got plenty of video out there, and see what the card meaning is. And you'll be able to put those two together and see where you might spot something that speaks a little deeper to you through that Hierophant, right? Because that is your major arcana card. It's there for you. And as always, these things are catch-22s. So it's like whatever that catch-22 is for you, you're blind to it, right? You don't see it. So these messages are to help you see that and to tap into that, because that is everything. That is the juiciness. That is where you begin the begin. All right, let's look at and bring it, right? Because if you want to bring something higher to who you are, your higher self, you start with the dark, juicy places. It's like, that's where you get the best bang for your buck. Oh, you got the Two of Clubs. All right, so I like this. This is making a connection. And it can be with yourself, with source, with people, places, things. You've got questions and you're going to look for answers, and you're going to find it through that intuition, and it's going to come at you from many different sources. You're going to love this being that second decan. It's going to just rain ideas down upon you, and it is knowledge. It is all fodder for you to grow into that higher self through whatever it is you're gleaming these thoughts and investigating, and what you come up with. It's busy work. The club suit is like the glue that holds every other suit together. You're the ones that do. You're the doers. I'm the doer. I'm a 7 of clubs. I get it. It is having that kind of energy to sort it through. I mean, it's all right here for you. This is so perfect. So whatever it is that's holding you back in that giving up your power to something that is blocking you, right? It could be a desire, it could be an urge to do something, it could be an addiction, it could be that fear of success or, disturbance, that you don't want to have to get out of your soft, cushy couch, and start to meditate, ask the Hierophant to come on in and give it to you, because that's all you really got to do, it's easy. You just ask and say thank you. I'm ready. It's a done deal. Here we go. I'll wait. It's coming. I know. And it will come, and you will discover whatever juicy bits that are your juicy bits to move you forward. Remember to keep that paper trail. All right, let's see what the Lenormand cards have. It's the birds. So the birds are, again, about communication, and it can be about any kind of chatter. So the darker side of the birds here is like gossip. So you may have that fear of people gossiping about you. The shadow attributes of the Two of Clubs is just lacking that information. So it's more of you standing in your own way in that respect, because you feel like you don't have the energy or the resources or the ability to successfully go down that path of asking those questions and searching for those answers. You may not have the time. You might be getting too much information. And for a second decan Taurus, that could, really, you could waste the whole day, right? But it is never a waste, because if you're keeping that list, that paper trail, those breadcrumbs tucked away somewhere, oh, okay, I'm going to write down, check out Meditating by the Water, check out this song, there's a poem, there's a book that even the title is inspiring to feel that confidence of your willpower coming through for you, doing what you need to do for that communication to open up. Find a quiet spot, just get into it, and allow whatever song comes on the radio or is the first song in your playlist, maybe collect songs that are empowering and really speak to you, and again, go check your astrology, see what is your most abundant element, if it's earth or water or fire or air. You'll really know or have some newfound direction as to what to do with that. And communication here clearly is everything. So yeah, let's see what you get for the wishcraft. The lucky walk. I am generous and loving. Yes, generous and loving. And walking that path, your journey, your creative journey, and trying. Eventually, you will settle on something and create something that is totally meaningful, really be able to bring that grounded warmth to whatever it is you're doing. This is really feeling like words to me. So perhaps you are a songwriter. Maybe you create music. Maybe you're a writer. It may be that you just have these abilities to see deeper, grounded meaning in putting together affirmations or something like that. I could just see you pulling song lyrics out of songs and being able to apply them to something really grounded in life. Yeah, okay. Well, that's pretty cool. All right. So now we're going to move on to the third decan. So for this placement in the third decan, this runs through May 11th through May 20th. So this decan is ruled by Saturn. That brings a whole new level of gravity to Taurus. It is deep. It brings a deeper stubbornness, for one thing, but it also brings a deeper loyalty and patience when you are looking to achieve your goals. It's a natural gravity in your confidence, right? It brings you professional success and gains in social prestige. I mean, people just have this respect for you without even trying. You just come across like, like Clint Eastwood, or, for one person that I can relate to from my time, but, just that concrete solidness and, not budging. However, you also have this natural, straightforward and direct and truthful communication when you're faced with obstacles. So you are able to just really nail it when you need to. There's also, in this third decan, there's an aura of natural charm and confidence that, well, it conveys you being comfortable with that, with the attitude of to each their own. It's not like you are standing there with your finger pointed at somebody. It's quite the opposite. You are just you, and you have that stoic stability, grounded confidence that either really shakes somebody's confidence, them own selves, if they're not sure of who they are, or it allows them to be like, all right, I can be myself around this person and they don't care one way or another. So it's fabulous. There's even humor. Even your humor is grounded and poignant. And there's a certain depth with all of that to your creativity. All right, third decan, let's look and see what you got for the archetype card, Avenger. Okay, so the light attribute is desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. The shadow attributes is resorting to violence in the name of a cause. Yeah, well, Avenger. That's Clint Eastwood, right? Oh my goodness. Okay, so righteousness on behalf of society and oneself. So perhaps in this creativity, you would find some satisfaction in some sort of justice, right? I could see, again, word art and just making a statement for whatever cause you want to get behind, or whatever message you feel needs to be brought to the attention. There's this balancing of the scales, which is a little interesting in that is Venus's other sign that it rules is Libra. So there is scales there, and I think, in my knowledge, of the Taurus sign in this third decan, you could definitely be of that service to others and want that justice, right? Because of that Clint Eastwood kind of connotation to standing up and being that confident, having that gravity and that low simmer point where it takes you a lot to get angry. So that brings us to the shadow attributes of this Avenger card, where you would just jump into that violence when you lose control, which takes a lot for a Taurus that I know of. I don't know any quick-tempered Tauruses. And if I did, or if you are a quick-tempered Taurus, you should look to your chart to see where that, again, Venus and Mars come to mind, because those are action, right? Action oriented in what your urges and desires are, as well as, is your Saturn compromised, or your Mars? And where is Pluto? Because Pluto is right there with that Saturn that you're connected to here. Pluto likes to blow things up, either way, bad or good. And Saturn is that deep life lessons. So, yeah. So in the name of a cause. So it's basically losing your control here and allowing your fear or your desires, if you're compromised in some way with that, or if that's been the thing that is your challenge, right? We all have a challenge. God knows it is there for everyone. We all lose our temper at some point. So it's really a good idea to go and check your chart to see. And again, with the cards of truth for you, you're going to see where that Venus ruling planet is, and see what card it is tucked into in that position. And you'll learn a lot just on where you should direct your energy from there. It'll tell you a lot about how you warm up to what you want and how you go about getting it. So if you see, or what you see there, what you find for shadow attributes in those desires and or blocks or feelings, just as everyone, you're going to want to dig deeper, going to want to pull that thread, and you're going to want to dissect even more so whatever comes up for you for those desires. So if you have a fear of moving forward in this Avenger mode, right, having the attributes, the best of abilities to balance those scales of justice, which, in this third decan, if nobody has it, you should have it. It is just there for you, that Clint Eastwood there-ness. And it's interesting because, as a fixed sign and an earth sign, it again can relate back to just not seeing it, right? Just not having that blinded catch-22 that you just don't know. And so therefore, if you haven't seen it, you don't know. But you feel something, right? There is a desire. There is a want to do something here for feeling like things are in balance, right? Okay, so yeah, go in and check the chart and see, and start there. Investigate what it could be that could tip you on to the next step in your journey here, because in order to create something, deepen your knowledge of yourself, to give you those juicy bits to be like, oh man, okay, that just opened up a whole new venture of, I don't know, it could be a can of worms, it could be Pandora's box, it could be, the chest of gold, more likely, the chest of gold, and see what you need to do for yourself in order to tap it. Again, the elements, go and see, what do you need? How do you go about giving you the boost that you need? All right, let's look at the Spirit and Nature cards of truth. You got the 5 of clubs. So club suit, we are looking at that intellectual pursuits, how you gather knowledge, what you do with it, and how you do it. The 5s are all very busy, very working cards. It is really experiencing and diving into every which thing that comes your way. It is learning through trial and error what is really going to work for you, but you glean all those nuggets from what doesn't work, right? You've always got something that you can take with you, even from a failed experiment. There are no failures, right? It's just another step in finding what does work. So that's the life of the 5 of clubs. It is challenging, but you are of that nature to enjoy it. I mean, we're talking Thursdays and Jupiter energy, and let's see, it is, it's justice and what's the judgment. So we are talking justice here, I believe, for the black suits. If I'm wrong, it's judgment. I don't know, it just kind of slipped right out of my mind. Either way, it really feeds back to finding that balance and having that justice served. Judgment is all about having that channeling from above, your Hierophant's message coming to you. You just got to figure out how to ground into your meditation for you. There's no problem for most Tauruses. You kind of come by that naturally and sort it through, not be too quick to jump to a conclusion. Make sure you're looking at it from different points of view, because that is a key to this 5 of clubs. You will definitely do it. They call it the social dance or the social waltz, because it's you being that lightness that can be you, even within all of that Clint Eastwood gravity, there is a lightness when it comes to the humor, and just so poignant with it, right? Okay. All right, I think I've channeled enough with that. Let's see what your Lenormand card has for you. It has the clover, so this is the lucky card, all right? This means that you are going to find your happiness over any kind of grief. So, yeah, it is bits of luck, right? And fortune await you. You have the potential to make life great. That's like the 4-leaf clover. Okay, so there you are. You're gonna make that lemonade out of lemons, and you're gonna figure it out, even if you have a bit of a temper, or just try to figure out where that comes from and see what you can do to bite your tongue or hold your fist, hold the words, and look to see what else might be there for you. Clubs are a great suit for that, because it is the investigating suit. You can't not look and learn. It is the clubs. All right, let's see what you got with the witchcraft cards. You got create a spiral. I am flowing with the seasons. Well, there you are. Yep, I can see it. It is that flows, and the waltz flows, the justice can flow, luck flows, and I can just see you in your very steadfast and methodical research to getting to where you need to go. Just needed to be brought to the attention, that's all. You're looking at light and shadows here, and it's all good. It's all fodder for that creative energy through knowing who you are at your core and just being invited into this through Source. There must be something there for you to tweak. Some juicy tidbit that is going to further you along your path of that creativity through self-knowledge. It is the best place to go. You know, I heard a quote by Carl Jung. Oh, it is, you must become your own creator. If you want to create yourself, then you do not begin with the best and the highest, but with the worst and the deepest. I mean, that just really sang to me because, and it's quite deep and it's quite Saturn oriented, but however, it is all of that muck and mire that the lotus blossom needs to grow from. So whatever the light attributes, it's all beautiful. You can always get there from any position, and it's good to know your strengths and your weaknesses. I mean, that's how you get to know you, and deepening all of the creativeness that's within you to make up who you are at your core. Find that honesty about it and that depth, and channel it into whatever it is that you are doing. All right. Thank you so much for watching. And I wish you the best of Taurus season. Stay kind and true to yourself and generous. And yeah, compassion is everything. And as always on your journey, happy creating.